Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eric Foster. I am co-founder of the Future Today and Tomorrow Super PAC. I realize that I run my today together with the future today, so trying to clear that up. But I wanted today to do a video that I hope will be instructful to Democratic, Independent, non-MAGA Republican, and other pro-democracy allies in Congress and in legislative bodies when questioning somebody from the MAGA side. And how do you respond to the lies that are being told? I have a couple of phrases that I've been working on in terms of how we should respond. Make truth simple again, and inhale the lie, exhale the truth. And I wanted to show a video and give commentary on it regarding Congressman Pete Aguilar, third in command of the House Democratic Caucus in Congress, who I really think is a good congressman. And he's questioning Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of State. And the questions are good, but he's missing a couple of clear opportunities to ensure that what is communicated responds to the lies that are coming out of Pete Hegseth's mouth. So I'm going to play this particular snippet and then provide you what I think Congressman Aguilar and hopefully other members of the Democratic caucus, the few non-MAGA Republicans who are in Congress when they have these chances, and also members in state legislatures around the country can do better when being in these situations to exhale the truth when you're inhaling the lie and making truth simple again in responding. So I'm going to play this. I hope you can see me, but I'm playing this right now. Oops, wait a minute. Okay, first stop. Great question by the congressman. Great question. But when the lie is communicated by Pete, because that's a lie, and I'm saying Pete Hegseth, when he talks of the rioters, the looters, and people assaulting police officers, that's a lie. There's been the protest in Los Angeles has been basically within a 8 block area, one freeway overpass and an entrance and exit to the 101, one entrance and exit ramp to the 101 freeway. There have been people that have thrown bottles, and that's wrong, and they should be arrested and prosecuted that have thrown rocks. And there have been 9 vehicles that were burned. Anybody committing that needs to be prosecuted. But that is not assaulting in the sense of what he said. That's not a riot. That's not rioters attacking police officers. That's not anybody fighting with police, ICE, or military. That is a lie. So, what Congressman Aguilar should have done is after Pete said this lie, before he gets to the next question, what is the estimated cost? The immediate thing that he should do is say, that's a lie. There is no one who has assaulted police officers in terms of physical. There are people that have thrown bottles and rocks, which they have been arrested. And there is no riot that's going on. It's a 8 block, one freeway overpass, and one entrance and exit ramp to the 101 protest in a city that's 503 square miles. Now, Secretary, what is the cost of your illegal military occupation of Los Angeles? That's what the congressman should have asked and should have responded. So, what you're doing is you're responding to the lie with truth. You're inhaling the lie, you're exhaling truth. Then you are positioning your question in the right frame, which is the occupation is illegal and it's a waste of money. Let's continue. Okay. Another opportunity to respond to the lie. Once again, here's what you could do. You can repeat 8 blocks, one freeway overpass, and one entrance and exit ramp to the 101 is not something that needed the National Guard and the United States Marines to respond to. The Los Angeles police and the county sheriff had that under control. The police chief said, I don't need assistance. We had this under control, which includes the arrest of the people who burned the 9 cars and the people who were throwing the rocks and the water bottles and the people who have vandalized buildings. Remember, not one building has been set on fire and one house has been set on fire. So that's a lie that Gavin Newsom hasn't maintained the peace because in the rest of the 502 square miles of Los Angeles, there is peace. Okay. This is another point where Congressman Aguilar could chime in. And here's how you make truth simple. Secretary, you already have a budget that was approved by Congress. There's not a line item for an illegal occupation of Los Angeles for something that's happening on 8 blocks, one freeway overpass, and an entrance and exit ramp to the 101 freeway. So that means that you're taking the money from somewhere that you didn't have money for to spend in this area. So you have to be taking it from homes, food, and supplies for our military. Okay. So once again, here's where I would interrupt. And I would say, what you're doing with this illegal military occupation is not something that is making things safe for the citizens in Los Angeles. Because once again, this protest over 8 blocks, one freeway overpass, and an entrance and exit ramp to the 101 was not impacting the other 502 plus square miles of the city of Los Angeles. You're not making people safe, you're making the situation dangerous. Okay. Here's where you interject again. They're being protested. People are yelling at them and videotaping them. If words and videotape are assault, we don't have a free country. And they're not arresting illegal criminals. They're arresting people who are parents, people who work, people who pay taxes. They're even arresting American citizens. So they're not arresting illegal criminals. These folks are not criminals. Okay. Once again, interject. Videotaping and yelling is not an attack. Not one ICE officer has been hit by a citizen who has said, we don't like what you're doing. The people that they are arresting are not criminals, but I addressed that earlier. And Donald Trump does not have the authority to invade Los Angeles and install an illegal occupation for protest over 8 blocks, one freeway overpass, and one entrance and exit ramp to the 101 freeway. The reason why I'm continuing to emphasize that from a repetition dynamic is it's truth. The protests are only over a 8 block radius area and one main freeway overpass and one main entrance and exit to the 101 freeway. And they haven't been on the 101 freeway in, I would say the last time they were on the 101 freeway was maybe Tuesday, and we're now at Sunday. Not one house has been burned, not one building has been burned. And so there is no legal, statutory, or constitutional justification for federalizing the National Guard and sending the Marines for something that's happening on 8 blocks, one freeway overpass, and one entrance and exit to the 101 freeway when no one is, and it's not a riot. It's not a the city is not burning. You have to interject and not let the lie pass because focusing on the cost and the legal justification alone and not responding to the lie, what has happened? The lie lives in its own world. So the lie has been born and it's being raised by MAGA mainstream media and MAGA elected officials that are on this subcommittee of appropriations. Unfortunately, this is a lie that doesn't need to see the light of day. And the best way for it not to see the light of day is when the lie is communicated, inhale it, exhale the truth. That's a lie. They're not being attacked, they're being yelled at. There's some profanity that's being distributed in their direction, and they're being videotaped. When is that an attack? Does that require a military force to respond? You know, if you keep yelling at us, we're going to drop in the 101st Airborne and carpet bomb your neighborhood because you're yelling at us. Come on, man. Come on, really? Okay, everything that Pete just said, Pete Hegseth just said is a lie. There is no invasion of the United States. So that's a lie. These are American citizens who are protesting the actions that you're taking against what, in effect, are American citizens who just are undocumented, but living here 10, 15, 20 years, paying taxes, having a job, having a business. You're basically, for all intents and purposes, an American citizen without a without a social security card. Come on, let's just be real. But there is no invasion. So the response is, I'm going to interrupt you, Secretary, because that's a lie. These are American citizens protesting. The protesting is over 8 blocks, one freeway overpass, and one entrance and exit to the 101 freeway. That is not a fucking rebellion. And those 8 blocks, one freeway overpass, and the entrance and exit to the 101 freeway is not preventing Donald Trump from doing his job. So nothing that you just said is true. No invasion, no rebellion. And if 8 blocks, one freeway overpass, and one entrance and exit to the 101 is stopping Donald Trump from doing his job, maybe he's too mentally deficient to do his job. That's how you respond. You weave this in with still the questions about the cost, where it's coming from, and the legal authority. But you don't let the lie pass. Okay, once again, that's a lie. There aren't millions of illegals. That's a lie. When we encounter somebody, so here's the response. Secretary, that's a lie. When we encounter somebody at the border and it counts as an encounter, we've arrested them and we put them into the system. Some people we arrest, we immediately deport. Some people we arrest and we put them into a process depending upon what happens next regarding their claim for asylum or refugee status. These laws have been on the books since the 1960s. So they're not illegals. Two, waving a flag of a foreign country. Have you seen St. Patrick's Day? Have you seen parades in the Italian American community? So obviously they must be illegal too. You can be an American and wave the flag of your ancestral home. That's not illegal. Are you saying that when white Americans wave the flags of their ancestral homes in a celebration or in a protest, when Ukrainian Americans in protesting the Russian invasion of Ukraine are waving Ukrainian flags, that's illegal? That's criminal? White Ukrainians waving flags is criminal. Is that what you're saying? I just want to be clear. Is that what you're saying? Because these are American citizens waving flags that are also representative of their ancestral home. Once again, every person who throws a rock, who throws a bottle of water, or anything else, that is an assault and that should be arrested. And they have been arrested by Los Angeles police or county sheriffs, or in small instances, the state police in California. Over the 8 block, one freeway overpass, and one entrance and exit to the 101 freeway. That does not require a Normandy invasion to deal with in a 503 square mile city. It's 8 fucking blocks. So once again, that's a lie. So you respond in replying, Mr. Secretary, that's a lie. Once again, these protests are over 8 blocks. These are American citizens waving flags of their ancestral homes. The ones who've thrown bottles and rocks and stuff have been arrested. Los Angeles is a 502 square mile, a 503 square mile city. The rest of the city is not impacted by these what's going on these 8 blocks. The governor and mayor have kept the city safe. Period. I'm sure there's I would have a chance to massage it down to make it a little bit more clear and more simple in response, but that is simple truth. The mayor and the governor are protecting their citizens. These protests are over an 8 block period. Los Angeles police, county sheriffs, and state police have arrested those who have burned the 9 vehicles. May they rest in peace to those 9 autonomous vehicles. They have arrested those who thrown rocks. They've arrested those who vandalized buildings with graffiti, not burning, or have broken in and stole some stuff, but not burning. And it's been contained into this one small area. How have they not kept the rest of the city safe? How? That's a lie. Okay. 503,399 people in the city of Los Angeles voted for Mayor Bass, 54.8% of the vote. 7.2 million in 2018 and 6.7 million in 2022 voted for Governor Gavin Newsom to be the governor of the state. Donald Trump is not helping the citizens because he's not doing what the citizens wanted. Unless you're saying that the citizens of Los Angeles and the residents of the state of California are incompetent in their decision making and should not have the same legal right to make decisions as the people in Arkansas who have Sarah Huckabee Sanders as their governor. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Secretary? And he does not. There is no invasion. American citizens waving flags of an ancestral home in protest for what you're doing to people that also come from their ancestral homeland is not an invasion. There is no rebellion. There's protest over 8 fucking blocks, one damn freeway overpass, and one entrance and exit to the 101 that hasn't been impacted since Tuesday. And if those 8 blocks are preventing Donald Trump from being able to do his job, then obviously he's mentally incapable. And you should be talking about the 25th Amendment to remove him from office, because obviously 8 blocks are preventing him from being able to function day to day. Maybe he can't deal with the Ukraine situation because of these 8 blocks. Maybe he can't deal with our economy because of these 8 blocks. Maybe these 8 blocks are keeping him from trying to figure out how to deal with Israel, Gaza, and Iran because of these 8 blocks. Maybe these 8 blocks are why we're in such a fucked position from a global trade dynamic, because 8 blocks have stopped him from being able to be president. One other thing that was missed was when when Pete Hegseth said, you know, and I know. That's a rhetorical device that Donald Trump uses consistently. You know, and I know something. That's a lie. And that has to be communicated as the lie that it is. Because no, we don't agree. There is no we're on the same page. There is no we, I know what you know. I know you're lying. So when they use that rhetorical device, you have to jump in and say, nope, I don't know the lie that you're saying as truth because you're lying. And you have to be that clear. So, Congressman Aguilar, members of the House Democratic Caucus, Leader Jeffries, senators, Leader Schumer, members of legislators around the country, non-MAGA Republicans like Senator Murkowski, Rep Bacon, and others. Please take this and use this to be tighter in your communications. When you know something isn't true, don't let the lie pass. Inhale the lie and exhale the truth. You can still question about budget, legal authority, and where the money is being allocated from, along with killing the lie as soon as it tries to land on the shores. That is important. This is a moment where we have to be able to walk, chew gum, throw darts at the dartboard, change a baby's diaper, juggle, and watch the game all at the same time. And we can do that. But the people helping the pro democracy side need to be better at helping give the pro democracy side tools, structure, and support to be better at responding. So, Congressman Aguilar, good questioning, but you let the lies pass, and those lies are now walking around causing havoc in the world. That's not good. You can do better. I know you can, and hopefully this helps.